We are live.
We are live. It is Thursday. It is November. It is Suzilla. That's Matt. I'm Suzie. Welcome to Wenatchee Insurance.
Yep.
Yay. Also the home of Suzie Health Solutions. Yay.
Yay.
So it is the first part of November, which means we are about halfway through the annual enrollment period for Medicare and 2 days into the annual enrollment period for individual.
Yes, we got 12 weeks.
12 weeks. 12 weeks total or 12 weeks left?
Total.
Yes.
It's
we're about 6 weeks left for January 1st start date for individual stuff. So we are not going to talk about that too much today because we've already talked about it a whole lot. But you wanted to talk about civic responsibility.
Oh, you were the one talking about it because of the whole voting thing.
Well, yeah, because the ballots are due November 7th. That's a week from Tuesday, so next Tuesday.
Yeah, next Tuesday.
If you're in Washington State, we are a vote by mail state. If you haven't gotten your ballot in by now, why not?
Yeah, there are a lot of folks out there scrambling to remind people to vote.
Absolutely.
Despite our ability to fill out the form and drop it in the mail or drop it in one of the ballot boxes, and
there's not even any postage due.
Just not any postage. You don't have to miss work.
No, nothing.
It is one of those things. It's like, yeah, us old timers miss going in and getting our gold star, but you know what?
I will make you a I voted sticker if it makes you vote. Okay, it's what it boils down to. So yeah, get your
Maybe we should do that sometime.
Yeah, that's actually not a terrible idea. I have to think about that. But either way, the important thing is to get out there and do your civic duty, to vote. I said before, in the past, I don't care who you vote for, just vote. Well, yeah, I kind of care who you vote for now.
Well, yeah, because there's that, and that's part of the whole civics thing.
Yeah.
You want people to conduct themselves in a manner that grows community.
Right, that actually benefits everybody rather than just them or their cronies. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for, cronies.
Cronies? You looking for cronies there? Well,
well, not for everybody, but yeah, you get my drift.
Mike Mandel is one of our local guys.
Yep, great, awesome dude. Love Mike.
And he's been pointing out a group of the folks that are running for school board, and their really deplorable attitude towards the LGBTQ community.
It's pretty impressive how awful they are towards their friends and neighbors, towards their neighbors. Really, I'm just awful.
They have no kids in school.
No, nor grandkids.
They were all the homeschool generation.
Yeah, so they don't even have connections going back to their children being at the school that they're trying to be on the school board for. Okay, that right there should almost automatically disqualify them.
Well, it depends on how they engage in community.
Well, yeah, and clearly right now what this particular team's goal is to change the community to their liking.
I don't think it's to change to their liking. I think it's just point blank cruelty.
Okay, so running out the people that they don't like on a rail is changing the community to their liking.
Yes, but and
it is cruel in the process.
Okay,
it's both.
Well, it's more than that. They're engaged in active cruelty and disdain for others. They are not building; they're tearing apart. So they're being destructive.
There's no love thy neighbor in this at all.
No, there's not. And it's really important because, one of the things that they posted about was, they were point blank kicking at the transgender community.
Oh, yeah.
And it's, and Mike, came out and said, hey, look, this is a vulnerable population because of the rates of suicide. So these two individuals are looking to gain a leadership role where they can actively hurt a vulnerable population.
And we're not talking about adults here. We're talking about children.
Yeah.
These are LGBTQIA children, transgender children,
yeah,
who are extremely vulnerable to suicide. The the suicide rate amongst that particular population is super high. And one of the things that can reduce that is just being seen and being and being acknowledged as who they are versus and what these particular people are trying to do is shove them back into not only a closet, but a closet filled with knives.
Yeah.
And to draw an allegory there.
Yeah, it's to actively cruel. Their game is cruelty and actively kill.
They want these people to die.
Yeah,
they do. I mean,
it's not these people; it's our people.
Okay, they want people to die.
Yeah.
If they don't fit their own little pigeonhole, they want them to die.
No, they don't care if it's in their pigeonhole or not.
Well, if it's not their
cruelty does not have limitations.
Okay, you're right. So if they're targeting the LGBTQIA and the transgender folk, who's next? Because it's not that hard till the next step be, oh well, let's target the black folk, or let's target the Jews, or let's target the gays, or let's target people with beards, people with brown eyes. It doesn't, we've been through this before. We've seen this happen
before. It's not good.
No, and then the whole focus on and make a particular population evil is a very well established fascist rhetoric.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's how bad people, evil people grab power, by making somebody else bad, even if that's completely and utterly a lie.
Yeah, so look around and look at the people that are behaving in cruel manners. The people who abuse wait staff.
Yeah.
The people who disregard secretaries.
The ones who give the hotel employees grief because there wasn't a mint on their pillow.
Yeah, it's very important. The ones who torture cats.
Exactly.
And if you don't know what that's a reference to, when I say cruelty knows no limits, it doesn't. It's the opposite of that is true also. Love knows no bounds. You can't limit yourself in that manner. So if you see people behaving in a cruel manner, eventually when they have the opportunity, they will be cruel to you. Yeah.
And they're gonna coat it in a squishy marshmallow coating that says that we are morally superior.
No.
You don't think so? You don't think that they step up and say, our morals say that we're awesome, so you must be evil?
When they don't feel strong or confident, they'll start masking it.
Okay, clarify.
They will put on hoods and cloaks and use the night. They'll use a blocker on their call system. They'll go over the internet when they do not feel enabled to do it face to face.
They'll put on a soft squishy marshmallow coating.
That's when they put on a squishy.
And that's where the Ku Klux Klan got their hoods.
Yeah.
It's being emboldened when you're not identifiable. When you look at somebody in a cloak and a hood and you recognize their shoes and you call them out on it, it really disarms them.
Oh, yeah.
Freaks them out.
It's
working as anonymous is very emboldening to those who want to be to the vicious and the cruel.
Well, like I said, they only operate that way because they don't feel confident. And one of the things the last couple of years is some of those folks have gotten confident in being cruel.
That's one thing that we discovered a few years ago when we started seeing more of these folks become in power in elected positions. The cruel people got, they got emboldened, and we started seeing more active attacks on people.
And now you've got some of them that are going and they're engaging in those community spots where they can impact the most vulnerable.
And they're starting with the school boards because it's one of the easiest ones to get into.
It's one of the ones. We've got some county commissioners that are just equally horrible.
Yes, you're absolutely right. It does. There's steps to this, and there's a whole. I'm sure there's an entire Playbook.
Oh, you're talking the Project 2030?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's an entire playbook at how to take over the United States.
Yeah.
And it starts with things like school boards and municipal elections, and it goes all the way up to the presidency. And we've all seen what that can do.
Yeah. So yeah, it's one of those ones. It's instead of good people running away from their civic duty, maybe they need to do a 180 and go into it.
All right. If you're thinking about what you need to do, is as a citizen of the United States, as a resident of Wenatchee, I want you to look at these people that are running for office. And I don't want you to look at their squishy marshmallow outside and their, I'm all about community and I'm going to help the homeless. And you need to look a little bit deeper and you need to see who they really are.
Well, it's
before you vote for them.
It's you got to look beyond an Instagram moment.
Yeah.
You got to look beyond a day on a church pew. Mm-hmm. You got to look beyond the make a difference day. Mm-hmm. You want individuals that are making a difference long term.
Right. And you also need to look at just because they profess to be Christian doesn't make them good. There, I said it.
Okay. This is I've got the whole the hypocrites pray in public thing.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
I'm paraphrasing Bible verse there, but yeah, the ones I've seen praying the loudest in public usually are the biggest hypocrites.
Mm-hmm. They're the most vicious of the batch. Well, okay, look at Donald Trump standing in front of a riot with a Bible in his hand.
Oh yeah, but yeah, they use troops to clear.
Mm-hmm. And hurt people,
and do that photo thing for that Instagram moment. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things. It's you got to look at those moments of time of whether you could add kindness or whether you could add cruelty.
Mm-hmm. And then if you want to add cruelty, you really need to look at yourself. Mm-hmm. Because you really need to determine whether or not that's the person you want to be now and in the future. And in the afterlife, if that's how you believe.
And it's also really important for our civic clubs.
Oh yeah,
because there were individuals when I did my civics run. It was 5-7 years.
Yeah, somewhere in there. It's a good chunk of time ago. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Time in.
Oh yeah, you're a good chunk in, and then it was a while ago when you retired.
Yeah,
from there.
But it was people that were there. Engaged in it socially,
and that's fine.
And that's fine, but they didn't engage in the civic side of things.
No, and that's problematic if you're going to be part of a civics group.
Well, yeah, and I think that one of the things that you've heard it in customer service presentations, time and time again, people want to have meaning to their lives. Mm-hmm. And we saw that with the Great Resignation, is people going out and looking for meaning in their lives.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And I think that some of this Moms for Liberty assault thing is they're looking for meaning in their lives.
Yeah, and it's being disguised as a civic organization, as something that's going out there to improve the community, when in fact it's just tearing down community.
Well, it's instead of going at it and looking at adding kindness, they're looking at adding cruelty.
Correct.
And that's
tearing down community.
Yeah, it's very vicious by nature. Uh-huh. And I think that some of that fuel and some of that passion is that personal lack of meaning. Right.
Now, I know that things like Moms for Liberty ropes you in without really giving you an idea of what you're actually doing until you're deep into it. I've encountered, I actually saw somebody who had accidentally gotten involved with them. And the minute they realized what was going on, they were out. But yeah, it's like, hey, I've got these great new friends and we're all just there to make sure our kids are happy and healthy. And you just kind of get roped in by that veneer.
And that's interesting because it's been years, but I was recruited multiple times by multiple organizations. Like the last one was a group trying to start a local chapter of Oath Keepers.
Yeah.
And I did the no, not interested in what you're pitching ever.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were looking at my skill set.
Oh, yeah.
And they were looking at it to engage in that level of cruelty that I've seen firsthand what you can do when you're cruel. And it's like, I want no part of that.
Mm-mm. Nope.
It's why I have a real problem with law enforcement co-opting a Punisher skull.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's not what they're supposed to be doing.
Well, it's not that. It's you're engaged in cruel warfare in a system that you're supposed to uphold and protect.
Exactly. That's not the symbol of what's supposed to be happening. You're supposed to be upholding and supporting your community, and it's a symbol of warfare and violence.
Well, they're not owning their community.
No, they're not.
And that's the really important thing is when you're engaged in that level of cruelty, you're not owning it. You're working on destroying it.
And then trying to rebuild it in the image you want it to be in.
But you never get to that point.
You never get to that point. It's just torn and torn and torn and torn. And then you think, oh, well, I'm just going to go be in my people will be in charge and everything will be awesome. And then it just turns on you next.
Yeah.
Every apocalyptic movie talks about that. They do that. You get in there and it's zombified and the whole world's gone to poop and you've got little tribes of vicious evil people taking on and enslaving other little groups. It's not pretty. And that's the direction that this is going if we keep up with this theory. Wow, that was a little apocalyptic.
It was a little apocalyptic.
But if we follow,
what's this we, King Wasabi?
Okay, they then.
Okay.
Because I'm saying we because I'll probably not be dead, and it will affect me. Therefore, now I'm going to fight tooth and nail against it. But if it.
So what are you doing now to fight against it?
Well, I'm doing things like this podcast. I'm getting out there and I'm voting. I'm supporting my community. I'm, making sure that my opinions are out there and known. Because I do, being, I guess you could say, I don't know if I'm an influence on this community or not, but I know I can influence some people around me.
So you don't think on a daily basis, you put kindness into the community?
Of course I do. I do that every day. That's part of my job. That's part of what I love about me. I'm not a bad person, and I work on that.
Yeah.
And I don't like to have bad people around me. And if I do have somebody who's bad around me, I try to influence them with my good.
Okay. Well, yeah, part of your job, and you find very meaningful, and you work some crazy long hours.
Yeah. That's why I'm not very articulate today.
Yeah, you're very kind in how you treat people. It's one of those things we strove very purposefully when putting together an insurance business was everyone gets treated with dignity and respect.
Everyone, regardless. Even if they are a soft marshmallow coated dude, they're still going to get treated with respect and dignity.
And that's really,
I might
really
socialize with them, and I'm going to try and be, use my goodness, my powers for good, and maybe influence them a little bit by showing them that this is not a bad thing. Maybe I've made a difference in someone's lives in that way. Maybe I've changed some minds.
I think you have, and you just don't recognize it. But that is one of those, meaning in life that is in your profession where you're changing community. Because it's more than one people. At this point, we literally are seeing hundreds of people, in the next couple weeks.
And it's super important to be, to put myself forward and show that cruelty isn't the way to go.
Yeah, and but that's one of the things that some people don't realize is that your profession can be a positive influence on others.
Not just my profession, but you in the Royal Manor.
You in the Royal Manor, because when it boils down to it, insurance is just data.
Yeah.
You can approach it that way. It's like, oh, I'm just going to go online and do it, and hope for the best.
And yeah, you can, and more power to you. And when you figure out what you've done that isn't quite right, you come see us and we'll fix it.
We'll do our best to fix it.
Yeah, we'll try.
And because there is points that people try to, do their research to beat out licensed professionals with experience. And it's an unfair match. It's like, taking your high school football team to play the Super Bowl champs.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Because some of us get really into the insurance, into the insurance of things, and we have a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah, I like it.
And people will come up and ask me questions, and I jokingly refer to it as "Stump the Insurance Guy."
Matt's very good at that.
And it's one of those things that's the way I contribute. Is that I contribute knowledge back into it. I do my best to do it in a lighthearted manner. But yeah, it's not I've got to do this special, meeting or this special group. I chose a career path.
Yeah, it's true. Well, you got to admit though, some of the marshmallow covered people chose career paths that are marshmallowy.
It depends. There are some that are electricians, dentists, welders.
Absolutely. That have nothing to do with their political stand.
Yeah, nothing to do with their political stand. It's their time off, where they choose to throw on robes and throw up electric crosses like their forefathers from the 40s.
And there are those who chose to be politicians.
Yeah.
Who actively said, I'm going to go be a politician. I'm going to give up my business and go be a politician and then be evil.
Yeah, and it's like, what is the depth of cruelty and what is the depth of kindness on an individual?
Exactly.
And if you're
usually it's very rarely black and white. There's always a mix. You and I know that it's very easy to completely dismiss someone as evil based on one or two factors. I think a lot of the times if you point out what they're doing, they're going to realize that they're maybe not on the right path. I think people have most people have redemption possibilities.
Yeah, see, I'm on the opposite. I think that there are truly horrible people.
Oh, there are absolutely truly horrible people out there. I don't think everybody who I think some people kind of get dragged into it accidentally and don't really, or were just raised in it and haven't seen the other side.
There's a certain point where it passes accident and becomes choice.
Well, okay, I'll allow that. I also think that there is a chance for that choice to be changed.
Oh yeah.
I think sometimes it's just education. Meeting somebody who you've been told is evil. It's like, oh well, I don't know why this isn't an evil person. Why is someone saying this is an evil person? This isn't, and they change their mind.
Yes,
and then it can happen. I want to.
You want to believe?
I want to believe that people can be better. I do. I do. I also know that some people are irredeemable. And I just don't. I hate that. I genuinely hate that. It makes me sad.
Well, you don't have to put your crazies on the front porch. You can put them on the back porch.
Yeah, but the crazies have a tendency to come barreling through the kitchen to the front porch.
But that's an important thing. Is it's like, okay, where does where do you put people that are, that don't have meaning in their life, that are bent on inflicting cruelty upon vulnerable populations. What happens when they themselves start to become vulnerable?
See, that's an interesting question. Because they will.
Oh, yeah.
There will be a point where they're, little old ladies and little old men in nursing homes, and they're going to be vulnerable.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Or they start feeling a way that they're no longer the targeted demographic for consumption.
Oh, there you go. It's interesting. And they're going to, that's a very good question.
What happens when they start feeling their job security leave,
mm-hmm.
or that they're being replaced?
Mm-hmm. They took our jobs.
And that's really important, because it's like, do they expect people to treat them with how they treated others?
No, they don't, because they don't realize that they were treating people badly. And they're going to treat the waitress badly, and they're going to be evil and angry and unhappy people and give themselves cancer, probably. I don't know. All I know is I think I read things like the Handmaid's Tale, where you look at the women in that book who were part of the group that took over, right? And a lot of them stood up and said, "Oh, this is the way it should be. Women shouldn't vote," and they had speeches and they wrote books, and then when it all came down to it, they lost all of their autonomy.
Yeah. And
how did they feel about that? And did it matter? No, because they would lost all their autonomy.
See, and I where I get mine is, I remember it was about 200, 300 women and children crammed together at a cement factory in the middle of the desert in Iraq. And that was one of the places that we discovered when I was in Desert Storm. They were put there for safety and during the fighting, and then they were just left out in the middle of the desert with no resources.
Oh.
So yeah, I've seen firsthand.
You've seen some serious cruelty.
On cruelty and people in power and what they do. So yeah, look around. If someone's being cruel and nasty, do you really want them as a leader?
Yep. All right, that's a good place to stop, because it's 8:00 and I got an appointment.
We got appointments. Go. Bye.
Bye.